Okay, so I read the story. The U.S. consumer has cracked. Discover plunges after shocking charge-off forecast. So this is kind of scary. The total amount of credit card debt hit a new all-time high, which, for a lot of people, especially me at least, I was wondering, like, how are people still, after all this time, if they're not working, able to sustain and pay for things? And apparently they've been using the credit cards. So they're saying it was to be expected from one of the most consistently increasing series across all U.S. economic data, and one which predictably is correlated to the U.S. savings rate, which is at all-time lows. So not only is credit card at an all-time high, but savings is an all-time low. Second, thanks to the Fed's crusade to spark a Great Recession by continuing to raise interest rates, the average rate across the U.S. credit cards just rose to an all-time high of 19%. That's a pretty damn high number. The combination of record high credit card debt and record high credit card interest is nothing short of catastrophic for both the U.S. economy and the strapped U.S. consumer, who has no choice but to keep buying on credit while hoping next month's bill will somehow not come, which we all know is not going to happen. It's coming. Unfortunately, it will, and at some point in the very near future, this will translate into massive loan losses for U.S. consumer banks. That's when Powell will finally panic. So here is showing Discover Card. I guess it's like 1 or 2% of default rates with typical credit cards, like Visa, MasterCard, I guess. But Discover apparently is way higher, twice that. So Discover, which I didn't realize this, traditionally targets low to middle income households, and yesterday reported earnings that were so scary Wall Street has uniformly dubbed them shocking. But while the bulk of the company's historical results were actually not all that bad, it was forecast that it was a stunner. In a presentation on its website, Discover forecast that its charge-offs would climb as high as 3.9%. So it gave a range between 3.5 to 3.9, which is more than double the 1.82 net charge-off rate it booked for all of 2022, and it was about 100 basis points higher than the 2.8 consensus estimate. As for the company's charge-offs forecast, we can assume that it made, with the company not making a recession its base case. So throw a recession in, tapped out consumer with record low savings, which means most middle class spending is now funded on credit, and you have an extremely explosive mixture just waiting for a match. So, unfortunately, things are going to get bad. And this is why it's so important that you have a separate income, you have self-employment income, cash flow, a different way of earning income, because if you don't have a job, obviously that's a bad thing. But if you currently have a job, there's a really good possibility that you're going to end up getting laid off if the economy continues to go in this direction, and you don't want to be caught with your pants down, especially paying credit cards and things like that. So it's extremely important, in my opinion, to be sure that you have additional cash flow. So check out my website. I go into more in depth about these stories and things like that. You can see it here at DennisHendrickson.substack.com. Head on over there, and you'll get a lot more stories and information on that site. So I'll talk to you soon. See you in the next video.